Hello and a very warm welcome to World This Week by Latest Laws. This is our weekly program, so subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified. My name is Monica Rahar and let's get started by having a look at Supreme Court this week. A petition has been filed in the Honorable Apex Court urging it to make the Chennai Bench of National Company Law Appellant Tribunal functional. The petitioner has stated that the functioning of the tribunal solely in Delhi, it acts as an impediment to the cause of justice. The top court in the case of Suresh Shah versus Hyper Technology India Private Limited has stated that the Landlord-Tenant Dispute which arise within the ambit of the Transfer of Property Act, they are arbitrable. However, those which arise within the ambit of the Rent Control Acts, they are not. The court in the case of Sanjay Tiwari versus the State of UP and another, while setting aside an order which was passed by the Allahabad High Court, has stated that an application by a person who in no way is connected with the criminal proceeding or the criminal trial under Section 482 of Cr.P.C cannot ordinarily be entertained by the High Courts. Expressing its displeasure over the practice of the government moving courts belatedly only by way of a formality, the Supreme Court, in a petition presented by Deputy Conservator of Forests, has imposed a cost of Rs 15,000 to be recovered from the government officers who were responsible for filing an SLP with a delay of 462 days. And while doing so, the court has held that government cannot operate like limitation does not apply to it. A plea has been filed in the Apex Court seeking direction to the Centre to appoint the Chairperson and members of the Law Commission of India within a period of 1 month and also to make it a statutory body. The court has said that the general category vacancies in public employment is open to all, including aspirants who belong to a certain reserved category, be it the other backward classes, which is also popularly known as the OBC category, or the scheduled caste or scheduled tribes category. Now let's proceed to the next segment of our news analysis and have a look at the Delhi High Court this week. The High Court in the case of Track and Towers Infra Tech Private Limited versus National Highway Authority of India has rejected to interfere in the decision taken by the NHAI, stating that the courts must refrain from interfering in the decision. The court, however, has also stated that even though decisions cannot be subjected to judicial scrutiny, the process indeed is subjected to judicial review. The court in the case of Bibha Pandey versus Punjab National Bank and others has held that the jurisdiction of Internal Complaints Committee, which is established under the POSH Act, or the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act of 2013. So the jurisdiction of such a committee, it is limited to allegations of sexual harassment and to ascertain whether the complaint is made out or not. To that effect, the ICC, the court further held, cannot make comments on the personal conduct of the parties. The court, while hearing a writ petition, has denied extending the benefits of RBI guidelines to the petitioner, which were made to mitigate the burden of debt payments during the COVID-19 crisis, after finding that the petitioner's debt or default, it was before the COVID-19 outbreak and it was not covered by the RBI guidelines. Now let's proceed to the next segment of our news analysis and have a look at the Bombay High Court this week. The High Court has directed the central government to clarify whether private healthcare providers who were forced to render their services during the COVID-19 situation were entitled to insurance cover which is available to COVID warriors under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan package. The court has held that mere possession of a dead animal skin would not amount to an offence under the Maharashtra Animal Preservation Act of 1976, which prohibits slaughtering, importing, exporting and possession of beef. The High Court, while considering a writ petition, has allowed the petitioners from Maratha caste the benefit of economically weaker section reservation on the condition that they may not claim the benefit of any other reservation based on their caste. Now let's proceed with the miscellaneous segment of our news analysis. The Madhya Pradesh Cabinet has approved the Dharma Swatantra, which is Religious Freedom Bill of 2020. This ordinance, it outlaws marriages which are performed with the sole objective of religious conversions. A magistrate's court has remanded Partho Das Gupta, the former CEO of the rating agency named Broadcast Audience Research Council, to police custody till December 28 in the alleged fake TRP scam. A local court in Mumbai has issued notice to Maharashtra Nav Nirman Sena chief Raj Thackeray over Amazon's plea that their posters were torn by his party workers, directing him to appear before the court on January 5. The Law Ministry has asked several states, or all states rather, to set up special courts to settle disputes related to infrastructure project contracts under the law which was amended 2 years ago, stating that it is very important in improving the ease of doing business rankings both for India and the respective states. The Union Cabinet has approved revisions in the guidelines for providing DTH services in the country, under which license would be issued for 20 years. The Commission for Air Quality Management has stressed the need to switching over of all industries in Delhi NCR to piped natural gas, that is the PNG, while adding that the industrial sector is one of the major contributors of air pollution there. Now let's proceed with the last segment of our news analysis, which is the international news. The Anti-Terror Court of Lahore, Pakistan has sentenced Mumbai tax mastermind and banned Jamaat-ud-Dawa chief Hafiz Saeed to 15.5 years in jail in one of the several terror financing cases against him. The court also imposed a fine of 2 lakh Pakistani rupees. The Supreme Court of Nepal has issued order to show cause against the government over Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli's decision to dissolve the parliament. The outgoing president of US, Donald Trump, has granted full pardons to 2 more persons convicted in the 2016 Russia poll meddling case. This move has come at a time when he was faced with renewed criticism for not standing up to Russia, this time over a sweeping hacking of government and private sector computer systems. That's all we have for this week. The link of all these news updates, they are made available in the description section for your kind reference. Thank you for being with us.